great players, they have a great organization, and you tell them one thing.
What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. With that being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. The preseason is finally over for the Las Vegas Raiders, and we're only a couple weeks away until the regular season officially starts. Week 1 against Denver. I'm so pumped up for it, but the Raiders today, in terms of the preseason at least, not the greatest news. The Raiders lost the game 31-16. And they leave the preseason with a 2-1 record. The Las Vegas Raiders defense just in general struggled tremendously, especially in the first half against the Dallas Cowboys, and just in general giving up a whole lot of yards and being unable to stop the run. They gave up over 100 yards on the ground and 180 yards in the air in the first half alone. Also, the Cowboys were able to walk into the end zone untouched on multiple different occasions. I just hate to see that, those easy touchdowns. So look, it wasn't a good look for this defense at all. The Cowboys had over 400 total yards and put up 30+ points, and also the defense was unable to generate any turnovers. Overall, the defensive line just did not look very good today at all, especially against the run, as I mentioned, where the Cowboys were able to run the ball at will, and their quarterback was able to run into the end zone twice untouched for very easy touchdowns. But also, speaking of the defensive line, the one thing that did excite me about this game is we were able to finally see our first round pick defensive end Tyree Wilson on the field. So look, I was just glad to finally see him out there. We finally had a chance to see him put the pads on and actually be out there on the field. Now, it was a pretty quiet game though from Tyree Wilson, as just in general the defensive line did not do very good. But I will want to watch the all 22 film when we get a chance to see if we can break down some of his plays closely and see what we can expect from him going into his rookie season. I think it's a good sign that we finally saw him out there. He's starting to recover from his injury, but my expectations are still kind of low when it comes to how well he's going to do, especially early on in the season. I think it's going to still take him some time to just get developed and just get back into the football shape. And just in general, like I said, I think he's still a raw prospect that still needs a lot of refining to his game to be able to be a dominant defensive end on this D-line. But also on offense, we started off cold and sloppy as well. We had multiple different penalties on this offensive line, which has been rare to see. The past couple games, we've been very clean when it comes to that aspect. And we're also burning some unnecessary timeouts early in the ball game. And just in general, I got to give it up to the Cowboys secondary. Overall, I just felt like they dominated our wide receivers in those one-on-one matchups in coverage, as they weren't able to get open very much at all. We even had a 4th and 2 in the red zone, and this offense was unable to convert throwing the ball. But overall, the Raiders could have looked much better today. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, it is only preseason. It's not the biggest deal, to be honest with you. I mean, preseason isn't so much about your overall record as, you know, the regular season. It doesn't matter what your record was when it comes to preseason. But really what I would say is the summer overall has been good for the Raiders, especially with the Raiders finally getting the huge news that our star running back Josh Jacobs will be back for week 1. So of course that's a huge bombshell for us, and that really changes the dynamic of this team moving forward. I'm sure all of us are much more excited about the season now that we know that Jacobs will be out there, and I'm just definitely very pumped up about the offense moving forward. But also another big win was that the Raiders were able to get out of the preseason and training camp without any significant injuries to their key starters. We did have a couple scares, you know, with Devontae Adams, but at the end of the day it was something minor. And that's just absolutely huge for us moving forward. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be healthy. All of our main guys on offense and on defense will be available week 1. Maybe not Chandler Jones, but at the same time, that's not an absolute deal breaker for us. But we will most definitely analyze the film later this week and also just see what players stood out and what players really struggled today. And ultimately, this can give us a much better idea of which players won't make the final cut and which players may have won themselves a spot on this team. But Raider Nation, let me know what you guys thought of the game. Anybody that's new, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.